Okay, so why are we here? We're here to talk about when and what to outsource to a real estate virtual assistant. And to just give you a little bit of a background, I've been using virtual assistants for probably 10 years. And the reason that I implemented the VA is I needed help in my business. And there's, so many things that that can be done that the person doesn't have to physically sit in your office. So that's where the concept of virtual assistance comes from, is that they can be remote. And many times that means not across town, somewhere in Fort Worth or Dallas, but in another country. Many times it's the Philippines or India. I don't know why it seems to be so predominant in those two countries, but it is. I happen to like the Philippines. I've been there when I was in the service. They speak good English. They're smart people, and they're very loyal to their employers. So that's how I got started years ago. I was Ron DeGran's mentor for all his Texas and Canadian students for about 5 years. And I was using VAs then already, and I had a lot of Ron's students telling me how they didn't have time, they didn't know how to do something, or they just plain didn't want to do it. And that's a good enough reason, right? You don't want to do something if you don't want to do it. So then the challenge becomes finding people that know how to do those things that you need to have done. So a lot of the students that I was had for Ron were telling me this, and I thought, I'm using the VA, there's an opportunity here. So I partnered with a company in the Philippines, and we've been working together ever since. And I still use them for my VA as well. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can implement VAs. This isn't intended to be a sales pitch, but it is in a sense, but it's really showing you an opportunity on how you can get more done in your business, and especially with the things that you don't like to do or don't have time to do. Okay? So that's what I'm going to show you today. And this is really the tip of the iceberg, what I'm going to show you today as far as the different things that you can do. But what I'm trying to do today is give you some thought process on what you should think about, what you should consider to determine if you're ready, and if you are ready, then what do you delegate out? What do you outsource? So that's where my focus of this presentation is. What I'm going to cover today is a little bit about me. We'll talk about what is a real estate virtual assistant. Notice I've coined it a little different than what most people call them. They just call them virtual assistants, right? How to determine when you're ready to hire. What's the benefits of hiring? REVA. How to determine what task to delegate. Because you want to think this through. You want to make sure that you are delegating the right things to a VA. You don't want to just shoot from the hip and give them whatever. That could be a mistake. What you should never delegate. There's a lot of things in this business that I talk about that it's just as important to know what not to do as it is what to do, right? I mean, there's some things in this business you shouldn't do. And there's some things when you're working with VAs you shouldn't do. And I'm going to cover that a little bit, in my opinion. How to pay your VA, and how to communicate with your VA. And then if we have time, I'm adding in a bonus topic here at the bottom. That was not on the agenda. Then we'll talk about mistakes that investors make using virtual assistants. So introduction, who I am. Most of you know me, but I spent my career in the Marine Corps, joined right out of high school. Met my wife on Christmas leave. Got married 5 months later, been married 44 years. Good thing she wasn't standing. 44 years, hard to believe. Retired from the Marine Corps after 24, so I quit early. Could have gone to 30. Got a short time as attitude. Took a job as a support contractor right out here at Lockheed. Worked out there for 8 or 9 years on the F-35 program. Had a great job, but I sat in this cubicle that was about as square as this table. And I'd go in the dark and come home in the dark. And I seen people die in there. Because that's all they ever did. I wasn't going to be one of those. So I had a plan to get out of there. Started studying the business as soon as I got here in 2000. So I'm not from Texas, but I got here as quick as I could.
There you go.
And I spent about $100,000, over $100,000 now in my education, going to various training courses, boot camps, seminars, whatever you want to call them, trying to get educated in this business because I'm a believer in education. I believe in being a student of the business. I'm always trying to learn something new, and I think you should as well. Gave my resignation in July of 2005, that I was quitting in July of 2006. Now, what does that mean?
You were let go.
It means I was ready in 2005, right? Because most people told me that because of all my top secret clearances and special program access I had, that they would not allow me to stay for another year knowing I was leaving. Evidently they liked me, so I stayed. I was going, darn, they didn't kick me out. But July 31st, 2006, I walked out the door and never went back. I had a plan, and that's important if you're thinking about quitting, is have a plan. We can talk about that another time. Wife kicked me out of our house in 2008 to go get an office. She was tired of hearing me on the phone. You know, been working out of the home office for years. And she made me go find an office, and I did. I was a mentor for Ron Grant students and Canadian students for almost 5 years. I partnered with the virtual assistant company. It was around 2009, 2010. I've taught quite a few numerous subject 2 classes, other things too. But it's kind of my specialty, kind of thing I'm known for here in the Metroplex is the creative deal structuring stuff. Proud grandfather of 2 beautiful and smart granddaughters out in Weatherford. Both straight A students, active in every sport there is under the sun. I was very excited last year. I got to drive the oldest one through the homecoming Queen Court. Some of you probably saw my social media post driving a 61 black Corvette convertible with her sitting on the deck. Did anybody see it? It wasn't mine, don't worry. Although I am a car buff and I used to restore cars, Dad rented that car for that day. So, but yeah, it was fun. I was honored that she invited me to drive her through the homecoming court. It was fun. Okay, started West DFW REI Group, November of 2009. So that's why I was telling you earlier about our anniversary party coming up. Disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. Don't claim to be. Consult with your own legal counsel before you implement if there's anything you have a question. I'm not offering legal or financial advice. Consider this information entertainment.
Okay.
Okay? So, and I'm not very entertaining. That's probably the most entertaining thing I'll say today. But anyhow, perform your due diligence before you pull the trigger on anything. And I would recommend that to everybody from any classes that you take. Is you need to do your own due diligence. Make sure it's right for your business model. Make sure you understand what you're doing. Make sure you have the correct documentation and so forth. Your results may not be the same as mine. If I go do a deal, subject to deal, and I tell you that deal, it may not come out the same way as what you do. Okay? Same with virtual assistants. You know, you may not get the same result as what I do when I have VAs do things for me. So, use the information at your own risk. I'm just trying to forewarn you, you should do what you want. I'm not saying I'm lying to you, because I'm not. I'm just telling you things to consider and things that I do. What is a real estate virtual assistant? REVA. A REVA is an extension of you and your business, right? So you might work out of your car, but you might have a huge business, and you can have multiple VAs that work from wherever you want in the world. I talked to a guy last night about this class. He's out of Houston. So he's going to sign up for the online membership, but he's planning to move to the Philippines in the next 90 days
Nice.
and run his business virtually from the Philippines. Interesting. Anybody been to the Philippines? What a beautiful place. Just stay away from the volcanoes. So they're an extension of your business. They can work anywhere. They can work whatever hours you want them to work. It's a person that you can delegate tasks to for things that you don't know how to do, things that you don't like to do, things you don't want to do. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
You don't have to do everything in this business. Is it a good idea to know how to do them before you delegate them? Absolutely. It's like property management. I would recommend you manage property for a little while so you have some idea of what to expect out of your property manager. The REVA typically works remotely. Many times from another country. Doesn't have to be. There are U.S.-based virtual assistants. It's a person that's normally highly trained, at least that's what you're hoping for, right?
Right.
Skilled, independent contractor who works from the comfort of their home office in support of your business and performs a number of assistant tasks that you need accomplished. We'll get into what those tasks are in just a minute. What's the benefits? Well, the biggest one is freeing up your time, right? Getting your life back. How many people work 5 hours a week in their business? How many people work 50 hours a week in their business? Or more, right?
Right.
Allow you to offload tasks you don't have time for, don't know how to do, just plain don't like doing. Allow you to stay focused on tasks that make you more money, right? This is part of the thought process. You need to think about what you can give the VA so that you can focus on doing what? Visiting sellers, making offers, and what's the third one?
Money.
Generate money, private lenders. Okay? That's really what your focus should be, is those three things. So you want to think through the process of assigning tasks to the VAs that will allow you to free up your time to go do those three things. Allow you to expand and grow your business to take it to the next level. Some people may not be ready to go to the next level, but you may need help with certain things just to make life easier. You might want to continue doing what you're doing, but maybe you want more time with your family. Everybody's reason is different. You don't provide office supplies or facilities. The VA works remotely. So they provide their own stuff. Okay? You don't have to provide anything. Except for, you do need to provide the tools that they need, but you don't have to provide, we'll get into that in a minute. No office, no desk, no utilities, no electricity. none of that kind of stuff. You don't have any employee benefits to pay. It's all contract support. That's a big one right there, right? How to determine when you're ready for a VA? Any ideas?
Now.
Huh?
Now?
Now? No, but how do you determine if you're ready?
Like me, for instance, I have a full-time job and I do the real estate stuff when I'm not at my full-time job. I'm kind of in the situation you used to be in, and lucky. But I have a lot of ideas and away from the way I want to run things, but I don't have time to do it. Just like, for instance, those lists. You have to get those lists and you have to put them in a certain format in order to get somebody to skip trace them for you.
Right.
So that's something I don't have time to do, but I need to do it.
So it's the workload. How much stuff do you have to do is one of those things you got to think about.
Well, I think like what Bernard was saying, the right time is when you have systems in place, because then you can just give them easy direction.
That's a good one.